Fidelis Care offers quality, affordable health coverage for children and adults of all ages and at all stages of life. Quality health coverage, it's our mission. Call 1-888-FIDELIS or visit fideliscare.org.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Fidelis Care College Sports Feed. I'm Dave Yates. Every week at this time we're going to take a comprehensive look at our local college sports programs, and we begin with our honor roll of local college athletes, brought to you by M&T Bank.
At M&T Bank, we're listening, learning, and working hard to understand what's important to Western New York. It's what we've been doing since 1856. M&T Bank, understanding what's important.
Coming in at number 3 from the Geneseo swim team, sophomore Arnel Allen was a triple winner at the Ithaca Invitational. Allen won the 500 free along with the 100 and 200 breaststroke. Arnel hails from Manhattan. Coming in at number 2, U of R sprinter Yvette Igbakwe. She set 2 new school records at the Fast Track National Invitational in New York City. The new marks were set in the 60-meter dash and the 200. Igbakwe is a grad student from Brockton, Mass. And topping off the list, Nazareth Track and Field's Luis Rivera from Rochester and Monroe High School. He owns facility and school records in the weight throw. He won the Empire 8 in the event. Rivera is a senior and an All-American in both the indoor and outdoor seasons. Time now for our local college Spotlight Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Northwestern Mutual's college internship program has been nationally ranked as one of America's top 10 internships. Contact Molly Doherty for more information. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Our Spotlight Athlete of the Week attends classes at MCC. She is a record-setting swimmer, performing very far from home.
Growing up in Slovenia, Rochester is probably the last place Tami Miller thought she would end up. In fact, the swimmer was headed to James Madison University, but she didn't score high enough on the English test foreign students need for admission, so she was looking for an option.
So, assistant coach from James Madison told me that junior colleges exist, and I contacted Dan. So we just kind of we were talking, and then I think it was intuition what brought me here. I just kind of felt I need to be here, and I don't regret my decisions.
Really excited about it. She contacted me and we had a Skype session, lasted about an hour, and she told me later that it felt in her heart that this was the right place to come. And so when I found that out, I was pretty excited. Being a non-scholarship sport, to get a top-notch athlete like we do is pretty exciting.
It's not easy being so far from your family and trying to adjust to a new way of living. But she only has to look at her teammates to find the support that she needs.
I mean, sometimes it's kind of like, because when I miss my family, it gets in a way, but it's kind of like I have my coaches with me, and all my swim mates, they're pretty much my family, so they support me, and it's not that hard to set up the mind. It's just like I set up my goal at the beginning of the season, so I just follow it.
Statements like that are a testament to the coach and the program.
Ready, go! Ready, go!
Really we try to create a very familial, atmosphere here, and I think that's what she's speaking of. So when she's up on the block, she feels like every one of her teammates is behind her, and I think each of our student athletes feel that way, as far as having the other athletes on the team behind them, wishing that they do well. And that means a whole lot when you're in a tight race or, trying to train hard or whatever.
Tami's list of accomplishments in the pool for MCC is nothing short of amazing. Last year, she set 5 individual school, region, and district records and was a part of 4 record-setting relay teams. But she wasn't done there. At last year's national championships, she claimed 2 individual titles, the only swimmer not from Indian River State College in Florida to win even one. And now she is poised to make another run. She hasn't lost an individual event this season and holds the top time in the nation in 2 events, both grueling distance swims.
I just go because once for the mile, it's pretty much like when you get in the rhythm, I just don't think about anything. I just go, and then I don't think about anything. You just kind of fall in the trance.
She not only has that support system, but she adds to our team. She's a very humble athlete who trains very hard. She leads by example, and we have an exceptional team of athletes, and she fits right in and makes everybody better around her.
That's why when she was on the podium for a national championship last year, she didn't feel like she was there alone. She had plenty of company.
Like my whole team, they were like cheering up for the whole mile, and that's like 17 minutes. And I felt that they were swimming with me, because like one guy, he was counting for me the whole year, and it's just like I felt like it was not just me who won the mile. I mean, like national championship, but like everyone did.
Once the nationals are over, it will be time for Miller to figure out where she will head next, and she will have plenty of options.
I'm sure I'll get a lot of contacts after the junior college championship meet, but she's going to be able to go anywhere she wants. She's an exceptional student, a 3.7 GPA, so wherever she decides to go, she's going to be able to go and hopefully meet with the same success and have the same amount of fun, because that's really what it is for her. It's fun.
How's the last set?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to it, but I can.
When we return, J.C. DeLass sits down with Nazareth men's lacrosse coach Rob Randall, and later Kim Bernston drops by with our Fusion Digital Scholar Athlete. All that and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat continues. As we head to break, here's a look at the Nazareth Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Nazareth College. As we come back from break, here's a look at the Geneseo Athletes of the Week, brought to you by SUNY Geneseo. And welcome back to the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Each week at this time, J.C. DeLass from WYSL Radio will help us get to know an area coach with the Fidelis Care Coach's Corner. The Fidelis Care Coach's Corner is presented by Fidelis Care, quality health coverage. It's our mission.
This is J.C. DeLass with this week's Fidelis Care Coach's Corner. And joined this week, our special guest is Rob Randall, now in his 16th season as head coach men's lacrosse at Nazareth College.
Thank you, JC.
Coach, as a graduate of Nazareth College, do you feel like that gives you a unique perspective when you're recruiting student athletes to your program?
I think it does to some degree, JC. I think the fact that I've been through it and have a pretty good understanding of the classes and the environment, the community, the people around here, I think it does give me a little bit of an advantage.
You were a player here at Nazareth, had great success, now coaching, also successful. Which do you think has been more enjoyable for you, a player in the success or coach in success?
Well, it's always great to be a player, but in my opinion, there's no better place to coach, and I enjoy working here. I love Nazareth. I love what we stand for, and certainly love the guys in the team. So that's just as enjoyable.
Has this been what you've always wanted to do, be a coach, or was there ever anything else you thought about doing? You know,
that's a good question. I remember in high school I wrote a paper. Not a very good paper, but I did write a paper on what I wanted to do and talked specifically about wanting to be a college coach. And but you know, you're never quite sure as a kid. And fortunately, when I was done playing, Scott Nelson, the head coach at the time, had asked me to stay on as a coach, and I got a little taste of coaching, and I loved it, and was pursuing some other things at the time, but ended up coming back to something that I love to do.
You mentioned Coach Nelson. Would you say he's your coaching mentor? Is that the guy that you probably learned the most from?
Certainly one of them. Not the only one, but I learned a great deal from Coach Nelson and tried to carry on a lot of the traditions that he started here. Here now that we're in our 30th year, we still hold some of those true to our heart.
What was the number one lesson that Coach Nelson taught you?
There's a lot of them, but probably the one that stands out the most is that you have to work hard each and every day, and there's really no such thing as a minor detail.
When you're recruiting student athletes here to Nazareth, is there a certain type of kid you're looking for that you think will fit in with your program?
We certainly are looking for the athletic student athlete. Having a skilled lacrosse player helps, but if you are an athlete and you're playing maybe multiple sports in high school, in my eyes, that's a bonus.
You talked about coaching here at Nazareth and how much you love it. What's the hardest part about being a lacrosse coach these days, especially with everything that's going on in society? What's the most difficult part of your job?
I would say, from a recruitment standpoint, trying to identify the kids. There's so many kids out there. That's always a challenge. And then the fact that the sport has grown so much that there's 235 or 240 Division III teams playing lacrosse right now, and there's a lot of really good ones, and there's a lot of really good, talented young coaches out there that are recruiting their butts off, and that doesn't make our jobs any easier.
No place you'd rather be, though, right, Coach?
No place I'd rather be.
You bet. Good to see you again.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you for joining us, Head Coach Rob Randall, and thank you for joining us for this week's Fidelis Care Coaches Corner.
Kim Bernston has our Fusion Digital Scholar Athlete of the Week next, and later on, Baby J throws things at Brockport. All that and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat continues. Before we go to break, here's a look at the RIT Athletes of the Week, brought to you by the Rochester Institute of Technology.
Hi everyone, I'm Bill Pucko. Classy Wolf Media is proud to be in its 5th year contributing quality local sports programming to the Rochester area on local network television. The Vision High School Sports Beat and Rochester Press Box are making real contributions to the Rochester sports scene and offer unique and affordable sponsorship opportunities. To become part of this vibrant community, contact the Chuck Hinkle Agency at 690-8547 for more information.
As we come back from break, here's a look at the SUNY Brockport Athletes of the Week, brought to you by the College at Brockport.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Kim Berntson. It's time now for our Fusion Digital Scholar Athlete.
The Fusion Digital Scholar Athlete is brought to you by our friends at Fusion Digital, a proud supporter of college athletics.
This week, our Fusion Digital Scholar Athlete is Mary-Kate Cusack, a senior basketball player at St. John Fisher College. After scoring 41 points in her last title game, Mary-Kate was named the Empire 8 Conference Championship MVP and was honored as Fisher's Female Athlete of the Year in 2015. She currently holds a school record for the most three-pointers in a game. Off the court, you can find Mary-Kate making her rounds in the hospital as she pursues her nursing degree. For her representation on and off the court, Mary-Kate Cusack is this week's Fusion Digital Scholar Athlete. Now here's Dave with our Bill Gray's College Calendar.
The Bill Gray's College Calendar is brought to you by our friends at Bill Gray's Restaurants, a proud supporter of local college athletics. Here is our Bill Gray's College Calendar for the week ahead. On the schedule this coming week, it doesn't count, but MCC plays a little lacrosse at St. John Fisher. It's a scrimmage Wednesday beginning at 4 o'clock. RIT has a big home Atlantic hockey game on Friday. The Tigers host Mercyhurst face-off at 7:05. The Tigers have played better on the road than at home this year. The transitioning to spring sports seasons has begun. The Roberts Wesleyan women's lacrosse team opens at Southern New Hampshire Friday in a non-conference game. The Nazareth men are 2 games into their lacrosse season. The Flyers host Springfield College Saturday at noon. The SUNY Track and Field Championships are Saturday. Brockport hosts at the Cirque beginning at 10 a.m. The 2 best men's basketball teams in the UAA go head-to-head at the Palestra. The U of R is 7-2 in conference. Emory is 8-1. Tip-off is at noon. followed by the women's game at 2, also against Emory. Yellow Jackets are tied for the conference lead with Washington. The women have never won the UAA. And planning out of the box, the Nazareth equestrian team competes in the Alfred Show on Sunday at the Bromley-Daggett Center on the campus of Alfred University. That's our Bill Gray's College Sports Beat calendar. Here's how some of our Section 5 alums are performing at colleges outside of Rochester in a segment we call Postcards from College. PJ Ranford out of the Pittsford Swim Machine is a sophomore at Michigan. The Wolverines just capped their 5th undefeated season in a row. Ransford swam the team leg of a winning 800-meter freestyle relay team. Michigan is ranked 3rd in the nation heading into the Big Ten championship meet next week. Valerie Palermo was a junior at Duquesne in Pittsburgh. Palermo ran the anchor leg of a winning distance medley relay team at the Youngstown State Invitational. She also ran 4th in the mile at that same meet. Thomas Bryant has been a consistent contributor to the Indiana University basketball team. The freshman out of Bishop Kearney got 10 points in a loss to Michigan State. That's 3 straight 10-point games for Bryant, who averages 12, 4th best on the team. Indiana is 20-6, 10-3 in the Big Ten. Bryant's former teammate at Kearney, Antoine Anderson, is a sophomore at Fordham. He's getting 23 minutes of playing time per game and averaging 8.3 points for the Rams. Fordham is 12-11, playing out of the Atlantic 10 Conference. Coming up next, our honor roll of teams, and Brockport excels at throwing in our Monroe County Sports Commission Spotlight Team of the Week segment. All that and more when the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat continues. As we head to break, here's a look at the Roberts Wesleyan Athletes of the Week, brought to you by Roberts Wesleyan College. As we come back from break, here's a look at the St. John Fisher Athletes of the Week, brought to you by St. John Fisher College. Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. Up next, it's an honor roll of our local college teams. In at number 3, Roberts Wesleyan's men's lacrosse team. The Redhawks beat Hampton University 20-3 to begin the season. Dom Cianferrano scored 6 goals for the Redhawks. Seth Miller from Spencerport won 21 faceoffs. At number 2, the St. John Fisher women's basketball team won for the 20th time for the 2nd straight year and 29th time in program history. The Cardinals are 20-3 after beating Houghton. Sophomore Caroline Robertson scored a career-high 20 points. And topping the list, the nationally ranked RIT indoor track and field team claimed the Liberty League championship. Marcus Hines of Buffalo tied a school record in the 60-meter run. The Tigers are ranked 15th in the country in the Coaches Association poll. Which brings us to our Monroe County Sports Commission Spotlight Team of the Week. The Monroe County Sports Commission, along with Visit Rochester, is proud to announce and welcome the upcoming sporting events to Rochester, New York. Please visit monroecountysports.org. It's a team within a team. At SUNY Brockport, they like to throw stuff, and they're pretty good at it. Bill Pucko has her story.
John Baby J. Rogers is the best of the bunch at Brockport, which is really saying something. Throwing things is in the culture of the track and field team here.
Come on, Baby J, right out the bat. Stand the ball, walking around.
The men throw a 35-pound weight, 3 heavier than their high school counterparts. The shot weighs in at 15 pounds, 3 more than the kids. Ed Jaskulski is the throwing and assistant head coach at SUNY Brockport. He works with 18 throwers, men and women, more than any of his counterparts locally. Over the past 12 years, the program has produced 13 All-Americans. It isn't as simple as it seems.
They're two of the most technical events in sport. People think it's just a heavy object that I'm going to pick up and throw far. You could be big, strong, you could be small, fast. If you're not in the right position, it's just not going to go anywhere.
Junior John Rogers is, as we said, the best of the bunch. He won both events at the recent Brockport Mid-Season Classic.
Well, I'm trying to add another turn in. I do 2 turns right now. I want to add some speed and acceleration without messing up my technique, and hopefully that'll help me push out a farther throw.
He's a very big boy, but what tends to happen is they rely on their size and not their technique. So we're just trying to dial in his footwork and his overall body positioning to lengthen the ball in its orbit for a farther throw.
Rogers was recently honored as the New York Athletic Conference Field Athlete of the Week for his performance at the Ithaca Quad Meet last month, where he won the shot and placed second in the weight throw. He's also been a Golden Eagles Male Athlete of the Week.
I am a rotational for Shotput, so that's like there's 2 different techniques of glide and rotation, and rotation takes about the same time to learn as weight throw does. They're both pretty difficult to learn, but it's been 6 years since I've been doing this, so I'm starting to learn how to do it a little bit better.
Rogers picked up the nickname Baby J as a freshman, then without facial hair, to distinguish him from another John Rogers on the team. The nickname stuck, and he likes it. Rogers hails from Everett Park, New York. He's a journalism and broadcast major at Brockport. Where do you see yourself like in 5 years? What do you want to do with that degree?
I want to be working in television, hopefully. So, or film, whatever. I want to be either behind camera, on camera, whatever I can do in the field.
From SUNY Brockport, Bill Pucko for the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat.
That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
And a special thanks to our sponsors, including Fidelis Care, for making the College Sports Beat possible.
We'll see you next week right here on the Fidelis Care College Sports Beat.